most beautiful part. Since I'm governor, I get to say whatever I want. This is the prettiest place in the Commonwealth of Virginia, right here at right all across the coast. And we grow up and represent such a beautiful area. I want to thank Valley Ward folks. We have had many great Secretary of Natural Resources, but you think what we've been able to accomplish in the last 17 months, it would not have occurred without her tremendous leadership. So give Valley Ward a great round of applause. We also thank our Boy Scout Troop 133. Give them another great round of applause. And Dorothy and I are honored to be with you. As Molly mentioned, we've had a great day today. We took the boats out, just had a great tour up James, and went and looked at our oyster mining operation. Obviously, oysters so important to our economy, so important to tourism and the replenishment efforts that are going on today. We went and visited the ship that literally is digging down, going back to the Ice Age and bringing up fossilized oyster shells so that we can then put them back out so that we can have more oysters here. And I'm proud to say this will be the biggest year we've ever had in oysters. Last year was a great year. This year will even be better. I just announced last year in the Commonwealth, we brought in $22.4 billion to our tourism activities. We've shattered every record, 40 million visitors to the Commonwealth last year. And looking at our early indicators, this year is even going to be bigger than last year. Molly talks about building the Virginia economy, and this is so important. So it's supporting our watermen, it's supporting all of our different industries that we have. Obviously, tourism. It's important that we do it. We have to diversify the economy. You all hear me talk about this every day. If you turn on a TV or listen to a radio, I'm obsessed about building the new Virginia economy because we have to. As you know, we are the #1 recipient of Department of Defense dollars. And that's great when they're spending money, but when they're cutting like they're doing now on sequestration, has dramatic impact on our economy. We have already lost $9.8 billion, 2010, 11, and 12 in Virginia from defense cuts. That will continue to work through the system. It equates to a loss of about 154,000 jobs. So that's why we have to bring in new businesses, support the businesses that we have here today. And after 17 months, we've had great success. We've done about $7.5 billion of economic capital investment in the Commonwealth. Not that I'm counting, but that is double any governor in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Unemployment is now 4.9. We are the lowest in the entire southeast of the United States of America. And just last week, I announced that we now have 4.1 million Virginians working. That has shattered. That is the most we have ever had. So we're bringing in new businesses. We're growing our businesses. But we really need to continue to keep the full throttle going because, as you know, October 1 is the next round of sequestration. I don't know what's going to happen. But if it happens, what we saw before is just a mere appetizer for how it could affect Virginia. So that's why what we're doing here today, obviously this morning with the oysters, they're going to Jamestown, and now here in Gloucester, we're talking about our access so that people can enjoy our beautiful waterways and bring folks here to the Commonwealth of Virginia is so important. This also is important to me because we've got to run state government like a business. I come from a business background. As you know, I started my first business when I was 14. I had to go to college. I've been involved in business my whole life. I'm trying to bring common sense efficiencies to our state government. We've got to knock down the silos. We've got to work together. And that's why today, to have our three agencies here today, DGIF and VDOT and DCR here today, is to have Larry and Charlie and Clyde here today to sign this memorandum. It's important. I have a cabinet meeting every Monday morning at 9 o'clock, 9 to 10. And you got to get your points in with me. You get 5 minutes each to make your case in point. But I end every cabinet meeting by saying, I want our agencies and departments to think creatively. I want you to think out of the box. I want you to be bold and do new things. That's how you compete in a new economy. And I say, listen, I don't care if you fail. I'd rather have you try something new and fail than not try something new. And what we're doing here today, for years they've tried to do this. And when I hear that, I don't like that. I say, well, forget it. We're going to do it. And we now have an attitude in your state government to protect your taxpayer dollars and to be efficient with our state government agencies so we can work together. So it is great to be here with you today. And what we're going to sign here today now is to allow VDOT now, wherever they are near a bridge, and obviously we have an operation near one of our parks, for our abilities to be close to a park, we are now going to work with VDOT to make sure that we have access for folks to use that VDOT to get a right-of-way so that we can now go into the water. Because if you look at the surveys on our state parks, which I love our state parks, as you know, I am the first governor that will visit all 36 state parks. Dorothy and I and our family just spent last weekend at James River State Park, had a fantastic time. We kayaked for 7 miles, we did archery, we did camping, had a couple drinks on July 4th, a couple beers. I mean, we did it up. It was really spectacular. But when Clyde and I were driving by, we saw a perfect place that we could use to do an access to water right next to a bridge that would allow you to get on the James River and do your kayaking. So what I've instructed our folks here today is to come back to me. I would like to see 300 options now with our different agencies working together to allow our Virginia residents and others who want to come to Virginia and spend money, which is what I love, to take your money from those other 49 states or wherever you're from and spend it all here, and to get access to our waterways so you can do whatever outdoor activity on the water. Outside of camping and hiking, what our guests say at our state parks, is the ability to get on the water is one of the reasons why they want to visit a specific state park. So I want to thank all the folks here who have made this possible today. I want to thank Officer once again for inviting us here. It is beautiful here today, but you see this right here is exactly what I'm talking about. Access to a waterway so that you can bring up your boats, your kayaks, your canoes, whatever you may have. And that's why this MOU is so important to the Commonwealth of Virginia. So let's go ahead and guess we'll start signing, right? Thank you, everybody. Sort of run together at my age, you know. You know the month of year. Charlie. Larry.
Thank you. Governor, I just want to personally thank you for all your support, for all of our efforts. I can tell you this, as the Director of the Department of Conservation and Recreation, it is awesome having a governor that supports not just me in my role, but every single one of my staff. As he goes out and as he says, as he's visited every state park, he takes time to go visit with every employee and talk to them and find out about, you know, how they're doing and what he can do to make things better for them. And it is just an absolute awesome place to be, to have a governor that supports not just me as an agency, but every single state employee. And I thank you for that.
Well, Governor, thank you for your words about pushing the envelope every day. VDOT has a huge footprint in Virginia, being one of the largest agencies and such a large transportation system. One of the things that we continue to reinforce every day is to find new ways, different ways of attacking transportation problems. And anytime we can work with another state agency to deliver services, you're going to see us doing it. So, Governor, again, thank you for your leadership and pushing us along. Thank you, sir.
I'm Larry Hart, and I'm here representing our director, Bob Duncan, today, who couldn't be present. But I want to talk a couple of things. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit about how important these boating access sites are. And I want to give you a visual. think about an hourglass. It's big at the top, big at the bottom, and real small in the middle. Take that hourglass now, lay it on its side. The big part at the top would represent all the land area. That's where the people live. They have the boats on the trailers. They have them on the canoe rack out back. Think about the other now, the bottom end of that hourglass, and that's the other big end, and that's the water, all that public water that's out there. And get the people from this land area down into the water area where they want to go, back and forth. You got to go through this real narrow little place. And that's the boat ramps, and that's what they do, and that's why they're so important. Our department controls, manages, and helps with over 200 boat landings. We have over 200,000 registered boats. If you do the math real quick, that's a ratio of 1 to 1,000. If you talk about those that own canoes, kayaks, those other small paddle boats, we don't have those numbered, but there's at least as many of those as there are motorboats, maybe twice as many. So now then the ratio is up to several thousand to 1. And that's why these boat landings are so important. I worked in the boating access area now with the department for over 30 years. And I can tell you this is the first time in my 30 years that we've had a governor that showed this level of interest in helping with these things. Thank you very much. And Clyde talked about he would come around. One day he just walked into my office over on our new office out on Villa Park and said hi. And that's never happened either, I'll tell you that. So I do appreciate it. So I thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, that's it, folks. Enjoy the water. Let's